Smack. Welcome to Super Smack.
Welcome to the Smack.
The Super Rugby podcast from the fans, for the fans. And a lovely week. A beautiful week. One of the best weeks that this podcast has seen, for sure, for me and Gareth.
A lovely, high-scoring, delightful week.
And a little sharing
in front of the
first
tally.
place. Thanks for giving us first place for 5 minutes in the weekend, mate.
Yeah. I think sharing is a little,
you shared it for a
exaggerated.
Little bit, you were in the sand.
shared
You've
it
been
for
in
about
the sand
5
pit.
hours.
You've had all the toys in the
Yeah.
corner. You've had the big truck and the bulldozer in the corner of the sand pit. And the Chiefs came in and just said, "Hey, Gareth, how are you, mate? Can I have a play with the bulldozer, please?" And you just gave it to us for just a little smidgen, and then you were like, "Now give it back before I beat you
give
up,
it back.
before I punch you in the nose."
That's my tractor.
Yeah, before I
Give
wedgie
us.
you. Before I
wedgie you.
Before I tell
mate,
the
I
teacher
can
to get
just-
detention.
I could just have imagined you after the game. You would have checked your phone and you would have seen you bump up to first, and you would have been sitting there going, "Ooh,
Couple of
giddy, we're all
refreshes.
Giddy."
Nah, it wasn't
Couple of
giddy.
refreshes, and you went there.
I didn't even know. It wasn't until
Good on
Dave
you, mate.
Delator actually text the Super Smack group.
Fair weather.
Yeah, he was in there like a robber's dog.
Come on, mate.
He loves that shit.
But do you know what? He wouldn't have realised either, and he would have just gone on and checked and gone, "Oh my God, we're actually in first place." No, it's good. It's tight. And then the Hurricanes went and stole it back in true fashion and got a bonus point to boot against the Blues.
Beautiful, mate.
Well, I don't know if the Blues, the Blues certainly were their own worst enemy in that match. They did not fire the shots that we expected they could.
No, they didn't.
Or they weren't allowed to, actually. If you look at the stats, far out. The Hurricanes didn't let them in the 22, like almost the whole game.
I know it was for a good cause, obviously in support of Cam. The boys looked like they had spent way more time in their hairdressers getting their hair dyed, rather than actually figuring out how to shut down Cam Roigard. Because the guy was running riot.
Wow,
he was allowed to do whatever he pleased on the field against the Blues. It looked like.
He was, and they're
great.
quite a highly emotional team, the Blues, I think. So I think it feels sometimes that gets the better of them on occasions. It sort of seemed like it was getting the better of them that night, and then the Hurricanes just kept their composure, which is something they've been pretty good at, I've got to say. But the real test, mate, the real test comes next week.
Well,
in
it's
the
only
wonderful
stage
Garden
2.
City of Hamilton.
It's only stage 2 in your little 4-step
Stage 2 of 5.
4-step plan. Yeah, it will stay stage 2 of 5. The 5 best teams of the competition you're coming up against in this little bracket.
Well, we've dispatched 2 of the 6
you dispatched
so far.
one. Yeah,
exactly.
So we'll see.
Well,
I mean,
we got
it's
rid of
going to
the
be a
Reds
big game,
too, but
it's going to be a big game.
Yeah.
You've
It
got
is
all
gonna
the
be
momentum behind you. And we're building. I would have to say, it wasn't the greatest start to the competition this year for the Chiefs, but boy, they're looking okay. Quinn Tupaia,
no, you guys are looking. Oh, yeah.
Tupaia was
but to see Quinn Tupaia come up against Proctor and Geordie, it's just going to be. It's going to be great. Like it's just going to be a great clash. It's also going to be D-Mac versus Love. It's it's a great battle. You guys have got great wingers. That we're very similar teams. With it's going to be good. It's going to be interesting.
D-Mac notched up a couple of milestones this week. He is now.
He did. Congrats, D-Mac.
Just beat Sitiveni Sivivatu to the top try scorer for the Chiefs, but also clocked up 1,500 points, which is pretty amazing. He's just behind DC.
Yeah.
But I think what do we work
Beauden
out?
Barrett.
He's
behind Beauden Barrett too, mate.
He's behind Bodie as well, so he's a good 70-odd points behind Bodie, which I reckon he's probably going to retire after Bodie, short of like a devastating career injury, which we hope he doesn't get.
He's got a couple of good seasons, maybe 2 or 3 good seasons to get up to the top. So
a couple of 100 points. You reckon he's going to overtake DC?
We'll see. Actually, no, not that many. Because how many points would he be averaging a season if he had 1,500? He hasn't played 15 seasons, has he?
No, so he must be doing 150, 200
He must be doing... Jesus, he's doing a lot.
That's a lot.
He's doing a lot.
Well, he scores a few tries.
When did he start playing? 2015?
I don't know.
In Super? When did he start getting into Super?
Yeah,
it was
maybe,
something like that. He's about 12 seasons, is he?
Well, he's definitely shaken off a little bit of the baby brain, which is good. But we've got a bit of news, don't we?
Yeah. We unfortunately have a little bit of news. Anytime. News. Moana Pasifika are in trouble. In dire straits.
Funding trouble? They no longer have the
major
support from their
financial
funders.
troubles. They no longer, Moana Pasifika Health or whatever the organisation is that funds them, that owns the team, has decided to pull the funding for from 2027 next year onwards.
They're backing them for the rest of the year.
And it's pretty gutting. Well, they're backing them, because I think that's all a done deal probably. But immediately from next season onwards, they've said, see you later. And
how much are we talking?
It's kind of gutting because there's been murmurs. Well, I don't know. Like, how much does it cost to run a rugby team?
Would you say
like Moana? Like how much?
Like a few
millions?
4 mil?
Yeah.
5 mil?
Well, I don't know. You got all the salaries of everybody.
10 mil?
I mean, that alone is it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then
you got kicking tees and rugby balls.
Tackle bags.
Jerseys, tackle bags.
They
scrum
get all
machines.
of that shit sponsored. That's the thing. They've got sponsors, so clearly they're not.
Yeah.
But this is
just the major
thing.
funder. It's the owner of the team, really, isn't it?
Well, yeah, they're the owner. They're obviously bankrolling it to a certain extent, and they get their money back through sponsorships and advertising and other which things. But it's kind of sad because it felt like ever since Adi Savia left, it then just started this slow decline.
Yeah.
Well,
mate, I mean, who are we going to get?
For them
we need when do we
team.
start like a GoFundMe or something? Because I reckon there'd be a bit of support.
I think we
out
need
there.
to give a little.
A little.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I mean, is it okay to do a give a little? There's
people.
There's give a littles and
We can start a give a little.
There's give a littles and there's give a littles, mate.
Give
there's
a
people
little
that
should
actually
really be
need
for
give a
people that
littles.
are very in desperate need, for
exactly.
their lives and livelihoods.
I mean,
Would you not say that Moana Pasifika are now
through.
in desperate need?
I don't know, mate.
For their livelihoods?
I don't know whether that fits into my give a little realm. I'm giving to someone that is going through some serious health issues, is has had been in an accident or something, or needs to travel for something, for some treatment or something like that. I ain't giving it for a short film or some sort of
you've got
indulgent shit.
You've got short film cancer. And then Moana Pasifika, save Moana Pasifika. I mean, mate, where do a few of those players, it probably doesn't matter. Because, look, the good ones were already starting to migrate offshore.
Yeah, lost to
other clubs, weren't they? Look at, Artie played, Kyron went off, a couple of the other players left. They had a big exodus at the end of last year. And then, I don't know, but it is a great breeding ground, right, for some of those especially fringe Pasifika players, of course, to actually get at Super Rugby level and have some experience. So that's a real shame. But
for sure.
Maybe, I don't know, how do they justify funding? I mean, who would fund the team? What kind of person can...
corporate sponsor,
they need a rich individual.
Well, there'll
definitely
be some
guy who's got some
out there.
Cash.
There'd be some Pacifica companies out there that have the bank. Surely. Come on, guys.
Well, in the
whoever's in charge of finding these sponsors, just get out there. But get it done.
Maybe not, because it's obviously a bit dire out there. I mean, look at the Tonga stadium situation. Clearly there isn't money that people are prepared to put into funding things in and around that team. I mean, they can't even afford to fix the ground up there. Not saying that their funding's coming from Tonga or anything like that, but it's So watch
we've
the space.
we've started
That'll be a
this
shame.
thing.
Well, because
it's only been a couple of seasons, and then now let's rip into it, mate.
I know.
You can't just cut it off.
They haven't given them long, eh?
No,
I'm surprised they didn't have them on a 3-year contract or something. Anyway, poor Moana Pasifika. All the best. We'll give it about 3 weeks to see what happens, and then we'll start to give it a little.
I don't think we're flogging a dead horse with Moana. I think we should get in behind them. But speaking of horses, there is some more news out of Christchurch, and this is classic Canterbury Crusaders behaviour. They're pulling on the heartstrings, and they're very.
Now this is almost more tragic.
The CEO comes out and does a little video.
They're really fucking puddling it on.
And there's a little guitar track, a classical guitar track in the background. It's all emotional. He's like, it's like a 5-minute long video about the fucking horses not being allowed in the new stadium.
It's like an in memoriam.
To these horses.
They've died.
Exactly. It's like they've died. And you know what? He said something in the video which sort of rubbed me up the wrong way a little bit.
But someone probably did.
He said they've had these horses for 30 years. And I'm like, mate, how long does a horse live? Because 30 years seems fucking old. And if you've had them for 30, if it's the same horses,
it can't be the same
give
horses,
them a break. Give them a break, mate. They need to fucking chill out. They need to just be exactly.
Put them out to pasture, quite literally. Put Poppy and Shoots and Cervix or whatever the other one's names are, and put them out. I just came on the top of my dome. So, whatever you call a horse. Put it out to pasture. Give it the life it deserves. And don't tell me, they're all going on about these Crusaders fans, and it's lovely. They're all going on about how much of a part of the culture it was and the games there at Apollo Projects and how important it is, almost as important as their rugby prowess, which is, not true. But those horses, mate, don't tell me they were trotting around that stadium, yelling and celebrating just as much as these people. They were probably terrified.
No, there's fireworks going on. They've got these bloody swords. They get slapped in the ass with these big bloody swords. They've got caped riders on that look a little questionable, if you ask me. I think
Caped riders
I don't know
on the
about
horses.
those hoods.
Yeah.
Those hoods on the horses. I think
the general sentiment around that is sort of contributing to the whole fact that they're gone. Which
they
call
needed
it a
an
little
excuse.
bit woke, call it what you will. I don't know, but those horses would have been absolutely going every night. Would have been going. Why am I here?
Yeah.
What's going on?
And I guess it is a sad day for the
palaver?
Crusaders fans, because I'm talking to Grace about this, my wife. She's a Cantabrian. And she said that it was the only way that she could get to the games was because she knew she'd get to see the horses. That's all she cared about. She was ready to clock out.
And the kids would love it too. So Grace and the kids.
Well, Grace and the kids, so goodbye, horses.
Grace
give them
and
a rest,
all the children of Canterbury enjoyed the horses.
Hey, speaking of Crusaders,
because
there's only one,
but none of them are dead.
No, they're not dead.
Yes,
yet. They probably need a little, euthanization if they're 30 years old. How long does a horse live?
Oh, Jesus Christ! I honestly don't know. Maybe they are the same horses. Who knows?
But could they live?
I don't know.
What's the average age of a horse?
I don't know.
You don't know?
They probably they probably just got insulted that they can't. That people they're like, now they took away the sword. Now they're taking away the horses. Can we at least put the sword back on the logo? That's what everybody's saying. They're campaigning for the logo to be shifted back. If not, it's like they're arguing with a lawyer. Can we at least get the sword back? If not, the horses, mate. It's like they lost the sword. They went to the double-ended dildo, and now the horses are gone. It's a trap. So one of them could still be alive.
Yeah. 25 to 30 years, according to Google. That means, a horse
so there
can
could be a
live that
horse
long.
cervix or Poppy or whoever.
Or Poppy cervix, yeah.
Wow.
You know what? They've probably got a rider. Because, they couldn't move into the new stadium because there was nowhere to put them.
That's right.
And I'm thinking, like, this is what my mind went to, like a group of rock stars, a group of aged rock stars like AC/DC or, the Rolling Stones these days, where they have like a green room rider for their concerts. What would these horses, what would Cervix have? I mean, Cervix is probably like a grey old stallion. I reckon he's in the corner. Like 3 bottles of Jack Daniels, 3 40-ounce bottles, and he just fucking swigs them back all night, and he just gets loose and lippy at the end of the night, and he's just stumbling out of the fucking green room.
So stupid.
And there's someone on the other corner that only eats blue M&Ms. He's just got a whole fucking bowl full of blue M&Ms. There's different fruits, vegetables,
mate.
Fucking.
One's getting pissed, one's got M&Ms, and then another's just got hay.
Just like, simple life.
He just goes old school and goes, "Oh, you guys are getting too big for your boots. Just haven't you tried? This shit's amazing. This is the best hay I've had in ages."
Says fucking great.
You're getting too big for your. You're getting too big for your fucking hooves, mate. Poor horses. And look. It's sad that they lose the horses, they lose the outfit, but there are some other outfits in Super Rugby at the moment that need a little talking about because I don't know what the hell is going on.
Before we get into it, I just want to shout out to Classic because, mate, the jerseys look great out there. The players are looking phenomenal. And you're right, I'm glad we didn't fuck with any Marvel shit this year. That was just a weird thing we did last year. Let's try and forget about that.
Yeah.
But, mate, these referees, that's what you're talking about, right?
Mate, of course, yeah. What the hell?
A baby poo yellow
they're
matching
not
with
very
baby
good.
blue. They're awful. It's like Ben O'Keefe's mum
Have they gone, what's the most... Yeah.
It's like Ben O'Keefe's mum is actually taking on the mantle of, like, she's like come into Super Rugby and she's gone, hey, I'm a retired art teacher, high school art teacher, and I'm just got a real passion for fashion. So I'm just wondering if I can just dress the boys. And it's like she's run, like she's got some old dyes and stuff, and she's got like some shit that's been sitting in the back of the cupboard for 20 years. She's still got some dye left over,
a bit of yellow and a bit of blue, and she just dips them in. She hasn't got very much, so she just dips them in, and they only go a very pale, sickly yellow and pale blue, and you end up with what that is, which is they've tried to be colourful but not vivid enough to overtake the actual uniforms of the players, and they end up with this sort of weird middle ground.
Just get some fucking high-vis or something. I don't know. Maybe we need Moana's looking for a new sponsor, but maybe we need a fucking fashion sponsor for the refs. I just think that they're just getting thrown under the bus. Imagine how embarrassing it is pulling on a pair of poo yellow fucking shorts before a game, knowing that it's going to be broadcast on Sky TV for millions of people to watch. Like, I feel sorry for Angus and Ben and the rest of them.
Mate, yeah. They're not the best. Even the crisp white with the black short looked quite good, you know? But maybe that clashes with, because maybe when the Crusaders wear their whiter strip, like these kind of ones, maybe they feel, I don't know. Maybe they thought that is the most sickly neutral colour you could get, is the blue and yellow.
Or do we need to go into,
must have been a thought in the design process.
Like into American football or Aussie rules where they have the black and white stripe. That could be quite cool.
Actually, yeah. Because then that's very distinct, isn't it? Or the other one that works very well is pink. You know, when the refs have pink. Even because there's no team out there that's got a vivid pink strip, right?
Yeah, one in the
You've got a vivid pink strip, mate.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Oh, Jesus, we both... Hey,
mate, I've got a question for you that's been burning a little hole in my head since the weekend, because we fired a couple of shots off.
Oh, God, that must hurt.
To him at the stadium when you're rolling the Blues. Who's Captain Hurricane, and what's his history? Because, I mean,
what do you mean,
quite a character.
Is he?
Yeah, I don't mean who's wearing the costume. I mean, look, who does the costume that character represent?
Oh, you don't mean who's in the suit?
No. I don't give a shit about who's in the suit, and it's probably
okay. Not who's in the suit. It's probably Barry from Johnsonville or somewhere. He got the gig. He's had it. He's had it for 30 years. He's basically the equivalent of the horses.
Yeah.
But at Westpac Stadium or Henry Stadium, as
Henry
it is now.
Stadium, mate.
No, he's a pilot. Oh dear, he's a pilot. I don't know. They obviously, with the wind theme, they chose a guy up in the sky in the plane with the scarf around him. I don't exactly know why he came about, but of course that's where that salute came from. That Cully and Tanner and all the boys used to do back in the day. That they still do. Not as much, I've got to say. You don't see it as much. They've kind of like taken the salute away, and I'm like, guys, don't disrespect your elders. Put the salute in.
Put the salute back.
Put the salute in. Don't disrespect the captain. Don't disrespect the captain. It's an interesting mascot, isn't it? Like is it one of probably the only human mascots? What are the other mascots?
Well, we've got like a chief, kind of like I think he's like a Māori figure, isn't he? I don't even know. I don't remember seeing the chief's one.
But is he? Is the costume? Is it that?
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like a sort of. I don't know, mate. He's like a.
Because they had a race in Apollo Projects last year, didn't they? With all mascots, I'm sure. And the Canterbury got the ram, the sheep. Who else? I can't remember what the other ones actually are. But I tell you what, Captain Hurricane is. He's flying a beautiful trajectory at the moment. He's coming in. Mate. He's coming in strong through that headwind.
You guys have definitely set the standard at the top of the table, and you've got a bloody shitload of momentum going into these next couple of weeks. And mate, there's a big game next week at FMG.
There's a huge game.
You had one top of the table clash last week and this week, and you've kind of put that to bed. Now you've got another top of the table clash with the Chiefs. And, mate, the battle of the midfield is going to be fucking hectic. We've got some very informed players in there.
Yeah, very good players. And they're players who are, they're battling for those All Black spots. It's a very competitive atmosphere that this is going to be. And actually, the forwards too, if you think about it. The Lucy's battles. These guys are all playing for spots in the All Blacks teams. Yep, you've got Lakai on Jacobson. Yeah. You've got Finau with Duplessis. You've got everyone, and of course you've got guys around the edges like Flanders who are playing absolutely out of their skin.
Tamoifalau.
That are putting their hand up too. Well, yeah, Tamoifalau's an interesting one. I don't know whether
he's got better and better, mate. He's good.
He is, but like, do you put him ahead of Tangito?
No, probably not at the moment. Tangito's definitely
put him ahead of him?
A little bit faster. No, I don't.
I mean,
but
poor
he's got half a
Tangito
season
and
to play.
Jonah Noreki. I mean, those guys were basically trying to, between the two of them, keep the Highlanders alive at this point in the season. Like, it's not going well.
There's a rot, and they're basically just licking paint onto that as much as they can, just so no one can see.
Right.
If the Highlanders were a house for sale,
I mean,
Nariki and Tangito are basically the going round with a big bucket of oil-based white paint and just fucking slathering it around.
And they are covering everything. They're taking those old wooden cupboards and they are whitening them up like a Devonport mansion.
You can't open any of the windows or doors.
They're doing everything they can.
Yeah.
Because it's stuck. They've just lathered it on. They've lathered it on. Oh,
there's drips everywhere. All the wooden floors have got drips everywhere. Yeah. They've painted
people come through and they go, hang on, I know what you've done here. I can see what you've done. This place it's a mess underneath. Like, you're trying to make it look like $1 million, but it's like 300,000, 400,000 tops. I'm going to go down the road, thanks. I'll pass.
Oh, pass.
The poor Highlanders. The poor Highlanders. They're their own worst enemy, and they resorted to blaming the ref on the weekend, which I got to say, mate, always gets my goat. I know it was a bad decision.
Nah, you're right. You're right.
It
and
wasn't
you know what?
the right call, but they lost the game well before that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a couple of missed opportunities, a couple of drop balls. Yeah, they fluffed a couple of tries, didn't they? So, yeah, you're right. And I had that written down. I was kind of on their side a little bit. Like, it was a bit of a shit
classic
call.
Highlanders, yeah.
But yeah,
for sure. But shit calls happen all throughout games. You know, I mean, you've got to make your own luck. We always say this. If you and it was 14-10 the game. It was a bit of a batshit game. It wasn't great. It was just messy, and yeah, there weren't enough opportunities taken, I think. But people love to blame the ref. I just don't love the ref blaming. Come on, we can't be doing that.
You're right, mate. No,
can't be doing that.
It's when you're clutching at straws. It's when you don't have the substance to back it up. Unfortunately, the Highlanders don't have that stage of the season.
No, they don't. And speaking of making your own luck, there was some luck made at Suncorp Stadium on the weekend that really turned the tables on a very, very good New Zealand team, and answered some critics from a couple of woeful performances. The Queensland Reds, mate, they found the celebration.
Have the Crusaders taken on the Suncorp curse? Does this mean the Chiefs get a free ride out of Suncorp?
You're going to get whipped at Suncorp.
No, mate. They've taken on the curse. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me.
No, yeah. They probably have, but we were saying just last week that the Reds needed to come up with a milestone in order to get them G'd up, and then we had no idea, but it was actually Filipo Dangunu's 100th
and he
Super
had a
Rugby
blind
game. Yeah, it was. He played a bloody great match, but isn't it funny, mate? It's a foolproof theory. Put on a celebration, G up the boys, and it's anyone's. They've got to just have a celebration every week now. I don't care. It's time for them to bring in all.
I don't
pull
think
out
the
all
Chiefs
stops.
have had a celebration this year, so maybe we're holding on to one for the.
Well,
the final
no, I mean, to be honest,
hopefully.
It kind of worked for you against Moana Pasifika because DMAC knew what was on the line, and I think everyone was G'd up for a bit of a hiding.
I don't know, mate. I feel like they. I don't
you
feel
don't
like
think so?
they
You just
dined
think
out
Moana
on
Pasifika
that. No.
is shit.
Well, yeah, a little bit, and also
Mate, you got 62 points. What do you mean they didn't dine out on it?
No, they didn't dine out on. They didn't dine out on DMAX. So they weren't celebrating that. You know, I don't think that was the reason.
No, but he was on one
that.
because No. But you know when players feel it, they knew.
Yeah, they all got behind him, gave him a little pat on the bum. Well done, DMAC.
They did. They went, well done, DMAC. And then God knows what else afterwards in the sheds.
Oh.
You know, those boys from the Waikato, it can be a little bit, there's some funny stuff that happens.
Get a couple of Waikato drafts in you, mate. And we've talked about beer. That it can send you sideways.
Well, and we all know the prostitute story, so lest we forget.
Hey, mate. Win in Rome.
In the day, mate. What?
Win in Rome.
Win in Hamilton. Oh, yeah, sorry, I see what you mean, yeah. And I feel like we've talked about this before, fantastic venues down in Hamilton for such things, if you have such proclivities. Incredible. Well done, Hamilton.
Yeah. I've never known.
You never? Oh, mate.
No, have you been down the
back in the day, I used to tour a lot of theatre to Hamilton.
A lot of children's
down
theatre?
at the Meteor Theatre and stuff. No, never children's theatre, but few different things, loads of buck whips, that kind of stuff, back in the day.
Right.
Back in the comedy days, mate.
You're off to Firecats, or whatever it's called, Mermaids, or probably something down there, was it?
Yeah. Oh,
$20 entry.
Yeah, top quality. Probably not now. But maybe had a certain spark back then. But yeah, a great performance by the Reds to top the Crusaders, which really hurt their mission, I think. That was a bit of a stop in their progress.
Well, yeah, they were threatening a little bit of momentum into the finals, and I think the Reds have put a little bit of a halt on that, which is very nice from our perspective.
They've put a dampener because they're down in 6th now, so as the table stands, they would still make it in, and they'd play the Hurricanes, which is always annoying. Mate. So maybe that's the destiny. Maybe the Hurricanes will finish first and they'll finish 6th, and we'll just have to be the first people to play them in a playoff. Thanks very fucking much.
Yeah, but also, mate, it'll be a home game for you at least. At least you're not going down there.
Fucking hasn't stopped the Crusaders in the past, mate.
Yeah, true that.
Oh Jesus, no, I'm still holding strong to my prediction. I don't think the Crusaders will win the competition this year. I've said that from the start, and I'm going to hold on to that.
It looks like it's going to be the Hurricanes.
I don't think they will.
But I just want to. I want to know how the next. It could be anybody. The momentum in the next few weeks is going to be really interesting, and I want to see what happens.
It is, and they've got to keep it. You and the Chiefs and the Hurricanes have got to keep it for another 7 games yet. So there's a lot of rugby still to come. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be very exciting.
I've got a cheeseburger voucher burning a hole in my pocket, mate. So if you could just give us a little sting.
Okay, we'll give the cheese away.
Player of the day. Get on you, mate. For me, it's a no-brainer, and he's been playing well all season. But I think Quinn Tupaia had his hand in every single point almost that the Chiefs scored. He's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Chasing, beautiful offloads, great running lines, great support play, great defense. He's a fucking legend this season. I don't know what he's eating or what he's like.
Yeah.
Is he
potatoes, I guess.
Is he on some sort of performance enhancing substances? Who cares? Keep eating it, mate.
No. Yeah, mate. Oh,
he's been going. He's been going too well for too. No, but he's been going too well for too long for meth. Meth would be more like a 1 or 2 game hit, and then you'd be starting to fall off the wagon. Yeah, you'd crack. But he's building momentum.
He is performing. He's performing incredibly well, and he's he's leading the scoreboard for Player of the Season, for Super Rugby Player of the Year. Yeah. So well and truly, which is great. And as he should be, he's really taken that midfield position and made it his own. I mean, there's no doubt that he's going to be in one of those centre jerseys for sure. We know that.
Do you agree with
me?
Do you think he's
as to what the combo
Player
will
of
be.
the Week, or would you have put one of your Hurricanes in there?
Yeah, none. I mean, to me, he's Player of the Week tied. To me, you cannot go past the performance of Cam Roigard against the Blues, man. He controlled that game so well. He just had them completely on the back foot the whole time, and it wasn't just his running game. You know how he's great with all of that, but his kicking, he was every chance he had, he would just snipe the ball down and just make them chase their tail. It was so good to watch. He knew he's really expanded his all-round abilities in his game, and honestly, man, it's like there's no one even close to him at halfback in the country at the moment. Well, he's just on another level.
I reckon in the world, he's like above everyone.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Do you reckon he'd be a good...
bloody good to see
I saw some footage or some chatter around who would be the new captain of the All Blacks this year if Rennie did change it. Do you think he'd make a good captain?
Yeah.
Cam?
No, I disagree. I actually disagree with that. I saw that and I went, no. There are certain... I think there's a certain quiet understatedness to one's game that you need to be captain. I think Cam needs to be allowed to play sort of with complete abandon, just doing what he does and not having much concern for other attributes. Stuff. I think that would not be a good idea in my
He leads
opinion.
from the front though, man.
Yeah. I don't think so. He does, but I think he'd be a great vice captain, for example. He'd be a great vice captain under another captain in the forwards under a Cody Taylor or whoever, he'd make a great combo person. Like he'd be the leader of the backs for sure. He's running. Yes, he'd be part of the leadership group. But no, Cam Roigard as captain would be a very odd decision to me. I don't think that makes a lot of sense at all.
Anyway. All right, so let's talk about round 10.
Right. Wonderful.
Obviously, there's one bloody game that we've all got our eyes on, especially us as this, fans of these two fucking teams. The Chiefs, Hurricanes, Saturday.
Absolutely.
FMG, that's going to be an absolute corker. But the Blues and the Highlanders, it's going to be an interesting one. The Blues will want to bounce back on that. The Waratahs play Moana. I mean, potential for a bit of a yawn fest there, but I'm hoping Moana, maybe they can inspire a performance that gets them over the line with a new sponsor.
What's your picks though, mate? Like, I'm going Blues.
I'm going Blues. Yeah, I'm going Blues, and I'm going Moana is gonna absolutely whip the Waratahs. No, they're gonna whip them.
I think the Waratahs. I'm going to pick the Waratahs. Nah, I'm going to pick Moana. They're going to have a fire in their belly.
I'm going Chiefs by
Chiefs, Hurricanes.
I'm going Chiefs by 10.
You sure you want to go Chiefs?
Yeah, bro. Of course I'm going to go Chiefs.
I'll go Hurricanes. I'm going to go Hurricanes by 12 and under.
Mate, it's going to be tight. Yeah. It's going to be a good game to watch.
It's going to be a cracker.
I hope it's not going to be a blowout.
FMG.
I think it should. Hopefully, it's going to be a good battle. Hopefully, there's no injuries.
The weather's not looking that good, eh?
It's not looking good. A little bit sloppy. Well, we all know how you play in the rain, mate.
Exactly, mate. No, they'll be fine. They had that Drua match in Fiji to right themselves. The Brumbies versus the Drua at GIO. The Brumbies have got that sewn up. There's no way the Drua are beating them there. I don't see that happening. And the Force Crusaders. Now, this is one, again, where things could get blown. I mean, the logic says that the Crusaders, after losing to one Australian side, will come back and absolutely put the Force to the sword, or to the dildo, in this case.
The double-ended.
And the double-ended dildo, which, you could put, Darby Lancaster on one end and Ben Donaldson on the other, and just... everyone knows how a double-ended dildo works. But
no, man, I don't. Can you explain more?
Nah. If you'd just seen my hands before, you probably get the gist. But I think that's what's going to happen. But boy, I'd love to see the Force get one over.
Wouldn't it be nice?
Perth. That'd be so good.
I think you're right, though.
Losing two on the trot.
The Crusaders are too good. They're too good to lose that game, I think.
I think they're too good for them. They're too classy. They've got too much talent. Yeah?
They nearly put both of us, mate. They nearly put both of us. The Chiefs almost lost.
They did, mate. And I mean, that's happened quite a bit. There's been a few close games where it shouldn't have been. But, we lost to the Drua, for God's sakes. But that was an extreme situation.
I'll see you.
What?
I'll see. We'll have a little call during our game this weekend. We'll have a.
Will we? Will you actually be watching?
I'd love to jump on FaceTime with you, mate, and we can have a little watch a couple of mins together.
We should, because I remember we watched one of them at your house once. Was it 2 years ago? And it was great. You and I were just pacing around your apartment. Yeah, let's jump on a call. It's going to be good. Chiefs and Hurricanes fans, it's on.
It's on at FMG.
Come on, baby. This is the test. I hope you all enjoy the Super Rugby so far. It's a great season. We'll get into it this week. It's going to be a big old time.
Come on. Super smack.
Yeah. See you later.